What's up YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Now, as most of you guys already know, I run a generic 1 1/4 inch spacer on the Land Cruiser, which I bought off of Amazon a while ago. Unfortunately, Amazon no longer offers that spacer that they sold me. So a couple weeks ago, I bought a bunch of 1 1/4 inch spacers that are supposed to fit the 100 series Land Cruiser and tried them on. If you missed that video, I'll leave a link in the description down below or somewhere up here so you can check that out. But long story short, none of those spacers fit properly. So in this video, instead of trying to look for another cheap 1 1/4 inch spacer that fits the 100 series, we're going 1 1/2 inch. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Let's get to it. Let's open this guy up and see what we got here. I believe this pack of spacers comes in a set of 4. So let's take a look. So off the bat, it does look like it is a billet aluminum piece. It is kind of heavy actually, but then again, I guess there's a lot of material here. These specs are 5 by 150 inch and a half, so this is exactly what I ordered. But as you can see, I don't know if it was the shipping or the manufacturing itself, there seems to be a couple scratches on the powder coating. Not the best job as far as powder coating goes. And also it does look a little dull. I don't know if that's just the powder coating itself, or it's been sitting around too long. I don't know, looks a little dull. Now, according to the description on Amazon, this guy should fit my 99 Land Cruiser. As a matter of fact, it states in the description it fits any Land Cruiser from 98 to 2007. Also, you've got the Tundra Sequoia from 2007 to 2019. Plus, it also includes the years of the 200 series. So that pretty much covers everything. A lot of you guys in the previous video asked why I only go with the cheaper generic spacers. And to answer that, for the spacers, there isn't really any moving parts like a water pump or any electrical components like a window switch or anything like that to go wrong. A spacer is just a block of metal. Basically a chunk of aluminum where they milled it down to fit your wheel and put some studs through. So in my opinion, as long as the spacer is made properly to fit your wheel and your hub and the balancing's not off, then it should be fine. And to top it off, it was named Amazon's choice with next day free delivery, so why not? I'll leave a link in the description down below, so just in case you're interested, you can go ahead and check those out. So I already have the old spacer off the Land Cruiser, and here is the new spacer, nice and shiny. And first off, what we're gonna do is see if the spacer itself is hub-centric to the wheel. And yes, it seems like it is. So that's good for the spacer. That means the lip right here does sit flush with the Land Cruiser wheel itself. So that's really good. Next, let's try to put the spacer onto the wheel hub. Now, as you guys remember, this hub-centric lip always had issues with these guys right here, these nuts, and they would always hit. So let's see if the 1 1/2 inch spacer will clear. Looks like, if you can see right there, it clears just fine. It barely has maybe about, I would say, 3 to 4 millimeters of space, and it definitely is hub-centric against the wheel hub itself. So next thing what I'm going to do is bolt this guy up and take it for a drive, see how it feels. So now I have the new spacer installed. Let's go for a ride. So right now I'm just driving around the block. I'm trying to get her up to a decent amount of speed and check for any type of vibrations or any type of funny noises, or if there's any type of pull from the steering, which I'm happy to report so far there has been none. Steering feels pretty much the same as before. Let me try to get step on some of these little bumps. Yeah, no real complaints here. It just feels exactly the same as before. The track has been widened by like 1/4 of an inch, but it's not really noticeable as far as driving goes. I mean, when you turn the wheel, when you gas, when you brake, you know, when you take a corner, it more or less feels about the same. And right now I'm doing roughly about 35-ish miles an hour before the calculated for the tire difference, so probably closer to 40, and everything feels okay. Now, a lot of you guys ask, do I worry about using a spacer that is just a generic brand, you know, bought off of Amazon or whatnot? To be honest, no, not really, because even the name brands are probably made from the same factory as these generic one-offs. I mean, sure, they might have a better anodizing process and the packaging might be a little bit better, but in general, in my opinion at least, the spacer is pretty much the same. If I were to improve anything upon the spacer, what I would probably do is press out the studs that it came with, because they do look a little, they just don't look kind of right, and maybe swap in some ARP studs. Same thing with the lug nuts, but other than that, the spacer looks pretty good. But for now, I'm probably just gonna keep the spacer exactly how it is, drive it around a little bit, take it off-roading a little bit, and see how it does. I mean, the old spacers that I had on here were also just generic, you know, whatever Amazon spacers, and they held up just fine for, I don't know how many years, maybe 3 or 4 years, you know, through some pretty interesting off-roading situations. So I think it should be okay. And that is it, guys. I'm gonna be leaving those Amazon spacers on the Land Cruiser and drive around for a few months and see how well they perform. If for whatever reason that something were to go wrong, like let's say the balancing is off or the studs break and the wheel falls off on the freeway, I will definitely let you guys know. For updates on other parts that I've installed on the Land Cruiser previously, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and for more Land Cruiser and Overland content just like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.